Hey, what's up? It's Jelly Jam MMA. We're back at you with another video, another picks and predictions video. Today for you, I got UFC Fight Night, Vittori versus Dolidze. I believe this is UFC Vegas 104. Yeah, so I'll be giving you my picks and predictions in this video, and giving you what I think should be a lock, which I would bet on, but I'm not gonna bet because I'm not that stupid. First up on the card, we got Unizi Dubin versus Carly Judice. I picked Judice. I don't know. This is a coin flip. It's 50-50 for me. You know, Dubin's coming off that um, uh, huge round one knockout against, I think her name was, she was a Canadian. I don't remember her name. Shannon Clark. Yeah, but Judice is on a 2-fight losing streak, but she's also a heavy favorite. That's because Dubin, she was a 13-1 underdog on her contender series fight, and there's got to be a reason for that. There has to be a reason why she was the underdog. So I'm going with Judice. She looked okay against, was it Gabrielle Fernandez? Yeah, in her last fight. One fight of the night. I think this will be a decent fight, at least for a women's. So I'm leaning Carly Judice. I just, I think it was kind of lucky. I think when the women's MMA knockouts are usually just kind of lucky. So I'm going Carly Judice for my first pick. I would not lock that one though. Next up, we got another snooze fest. No, I'm kidding. This one is actually a decent women's fight again. We got Josiane Nunes versus Priscilla Cachero. Um, Josie, she's big knockout power. She's really small. She's 5'2". She's real small for the bantamweight division for sure. But she's also got a decent reach, and she's facing a girl who's on 2-fight losing streak. I think it's pretty fair to go with no Nunes by a decision. I don't really see her getting knocked out, but I just kind of see her kind of just coming forward the whole time, putting pressure and landing her big overhand. But I don't think it's going to do too much damage. So I'm going with Nunes to win this one by a decision. We move on to a much more interesting fight. Andre Lima versus Daniel Bairez. Um, I am going with Andre Lima. He's a slick kickboxer. He's coming off a win against Mitch Raposo back at UFC 302. Oh wait, no, he's not. It's Felipe dos Santos at the Burns Brady card. He looks solid. He's got great defensive grappling, and his striking is great. He works his leg kicks in very well. Bairez, a great boxer. I just don't think he has what it takes to be an up and comer like Lima, who's on a hot streak. So I'm leaning Andre Lima. I could, but this is kind of 50-50. But I am leaning Lima. I just think he's gonna be able to get the job done. He's gonna stay at range, and he's gonna chew him up with the leg kicks. I just think it's gonna be more than likely it's gonna be a pretty easy coasting for Andre Lima. Give me him by 30-27. Next up, we got an absolute underrated banger because these guys. Uh, Most people don't know who these guys are. We got Josiah Musasa versus Carlos Vera. Vera is coming off a loss against Rinya Nakamura at UFC 298. Musasa is coming off a TKO win on the Contender Series. I'm leaning Musasa. He has great power, incredible tenacity, whatever that word means. Um, Vera, I believe he does Eminari rolls a lot. So as long as Musasa can kind of stay out of that, stay unengaged with grappling, I think he's going to get put out cold. He's going to put him out cold. I just don't think Vera's that good. A bit chinny. So I am leaning Musasa to get a Ilya Taporia type ground and pound against Ryan Hall. Moving on. I'm not even going to say this guy's name because I'll mess it up. Versus Brinison Ribeiro. We're just going to call this guy Dyer. I don't even want to say the last name. But I am leaning this Kazakh by knockout in the first round. Ribeiro, bit chinny, got put out cold by Zhang Mingyang. And he lost to Magomed Gajisulov by decision. He struggles with rangy strikers, and While he does have the height and reach advantage, I do think he's going to be struggling against this Kazakh right here. It's 10-0. He's coming off a TKO win on the Contender Series. Yeah, this one's pretty easy. I would lock this one up. I know the odds don't have it that high, but Ribeiro's best win is freaking Caio Machado, who lost to Dontel Mays. Enough said. You gotta go. You gotta go against the Brazilian on this one. Moving up, we got a fight that I believe is the least cared about fight in my opinion. Pick her, 6-1. It doesn't really matter. I'm not gonna go over this too much, waste too much time. But who cares? Go with Luciano though, but I wouldn't bet on it because women's MMA it's 50-50. You never know. Moving on, we got an absolute banger at heavyweight. Waldo Cortez Acosta, who's coming off his decision win against Robelis back at UFC St. Louis. He was scheduled to fight a couple of times since then, but I believe he was injured. And Ryan Spann, who's coming off his first round guillotine win against OSP. I think it's pretty safe. It's what Lucas Tracy says is light man skill. You got to go with Ryan Spann. It just makes a ton of sense. I don't think Cortez Acosta is going to be able to keep up with the speed and the ranginess of Ryan Spann. That's one thing in Spann. He's going to have the grappling and the striking advantage, in my opinion. I don't think Acosta has a ton of power for the heavyweight division, so I don't think he's really going to catch him with something. So I think it's a pretty safe bet to go with Spann here by submission. Not totally the first round, I would say, but that's my best bet. But I would be leaning it. I could see him taking him in the later rounds, gassing him out, and getting him then. I just think he's going to get in the first round. I think it's going to be pretty quick, light work, like Kennedy Nezuchuku, who's doing so good at heavyweight as well. I think we're about to see a huge influx of light heavyweight fighters moving up. Like we saw Vitor Petrino trying to move up to go fight at UFC 313, but he had to pull out because he had double tennis elbow. Moving on to the main card, we got Su Young Yu. That's a tongue twister versus AJ Cunningham. Not much to say. He's coming off win. I believe he won his road to the UFC season. And then AJ Cunningham, who I believe is not very good. I know he's friends with Bryce Mitchell. Um, Enough said about that, you know. But I am leaning here. Yeah, he's a huge favorite. This one's pretty easy to bet on. This would be my second lock of the night. This is the most um this is the least ballsy pick you could make. You going with Su Young Yu. I would take him to finish by decision. AJ Cunningham got finished his last fight, but I don't think Su Young Yu has great finishing power. So I'm going with Su Young Yu here to beat AJ Cunningham by 29-28. Mark my words, Su Young Yu's going to lose the second round, but he's going to win 1-3. Moving on, we got an absolute, not an absolute, but an underrated fight in my opinion. Damone Blackshear versus Cody Gibson. I'm leaning Blackshear here by submission round two. Um, he's a little chinny on the feet, but Cody doesn't really have a bunch of power. Cody Gibson's main thing is his wrestling game where he's able to take you down, kind of just a lay and pray. I think if he does get taken down, um, he'll be looking submissions off his back, trying to get up. He's a smart grappler. I think he's much better on the feet. He hurt Cody Stallman in his last fight very well on the feet. Had him hurt. I believe one of them was like a flying knee. Yeah, so I'd go with Damon Blackshear here. Close fight though, close fight. Moving on to Alexander Hernandez versus Holaba. Doesn't really matter about this fight. Hernandez is a better kickboxer. He's got to defend the grappling, which he did again his last fight against Austin Hubbard. There's not much to say here. Nobody really cares about this one. But we're moving on to a guy I think we all got to look out for, Kevin Vallejos. Um, this dude is just so fun to watch. He's a great fighter. Um, he did lose his Contender Series debut against John Silva, but we see what John Silva's doing. He's about to challenge Bryce Mitchell for his number 13. ranking spot next month. So that's his only loss. He destroyed his next Contender Series fight bout, and Sungwon Chu got destroyed by Steve Garcia last time. So I'm pretty sure that Kevin Vallejos is going to win. I don't think we're going to see. I don't think we're going to get to see Vallejos get fraud checked here. I think Vallejos is going to run through this guy, get a performance bonus. Vallejos is going to be celebrating with $50,000 in the bank this weekend. Moving on to the co-main event, we got Elizeu Zaleski versus Chidi and Njokuani. Now Zaleski's coming off a TKO win against Zachary Scroggin, who was an undefeated fighter making his debut on short notice. And we got Chidi and Njokuani, I believe, on this. It might not be the same card, but let me see if it was the same card. That tells me nothing. Whatever. Hold on. Sorry. I gotta do this. I gotta know. Okay, it was not the same card. I either knew it was the Royval card or it was the Prates. But whatever. Um, I do believe Zaleski's gonna win. He's got the striking. Njokuani, not much to say about him. He's a rather boring fighter. But he does have the height and reach advantage. It's pretty big, 6'3" to 5'11", and then 80 inches compared to 73. That's a pretty big difference, man. But Njokuani's going on a little bit of a win streak here. 2 fights after dropping his previous 3. Not much to say here. I don't think this is going to be a barn burner or anything. In fact, I think this whole card is pretty weak, but there is some good names to look out for. Yeah, not much to say. We move on to the main event. Marvin, the Italian Dream Vittori versus Roman, the Caucasian Dolidze. Now, Dolidze is coming off a 2-fight winning streak after losing to Imavov. He's beaten Anthony Smith on short notice, which is not really a great win if we're being honest. And then he beat Kevin Holland, which isn't looking the best either, by corner stoppage because Kevin Holland popped the rib. Now, Vittori, I believe, is on a 1-fight losing skid. Yes. Got destroyed, got battered by Jared Cannonier in July of 2023. He was scheduled to fight Brendan Allen last year, but he had to pull out, so Chris Curtis stepped in. I think it's pretty simple. I think we're going to see the exact same thing happen as in the first fight. I think we're going to see Vittori win by decision, leaning 49-46. I just don't think Dolidze is going to be able to do much. I think his wrestling is going to be nullified. And Vittori has a great chin, and Dolidze is not somebody who throws great power and volume throughout the whole fight. So I don't think Vittori's got to totally worry about anything. Vittori's chin is going to stand the test of time. In my opinion, he has the best chin in the UFC because Max Holloway got knocked out and Marlon Vera got dropped by Figgy. But yes, so I am leaning Marvin Vittori. I could see it going both ways here, but I just think Vittori, he's been off a while. I don't think the ring rust is going to show against a guy like Roman Dolidze, who's, I don't want to say he's bottom of the barrel, but it's not like this guy's a world beater. So I'm leaning Marvin Vittori here. He's going to be at a height disadvantage and a reach disadvantage, but it doesn't really matter. Seems Vittori is a slight favorite. I think it's a pretty safe bet here to go with Marvin Vittori. Alright, that's going to be it for me, guys. I'll be back here Monday to give you my picks and predictions for UFC London, Leon Edwards versus John Brady. That's a much better card. UFC for the next couple weeks, besides this card, is really looking good. Just hope no fight cancellations happen like the past couple months. Yeah, so come back next Monday, if you want to hear my new picks for UFC London. Hope you have a good day. I'm out. Oh, sorry.